We live in a world where news is never about the good things that are happening, but only about the things that are wrong or dysfunctional. In looking at healthcare, the budget, the debt, immigration, tax reform, international security, or whether or not the Russians hacked the election, all these issues are not the actual problem, but the media whining about the symptoms of those dysfunctionalities. It is sad, but good news and things that are going right is boring and does not attract eyeballs that sells advertising. This whining by the media becomes infectious and is exploited by the liberal agenda to gather more victims who complain, why isn't the government doing something about all this stuff? This infection hypes the issue by making them into talking points that politicians use so they can stand up in front of a parade and they can call themselves leaders. They almost always address only the symptoms, never the problem, and say, I will fix this for you. This is where bureaucracies are born, and they are the only living organism in the world that never dies. They only grow by looking for more victims who want the government to fix it for them and devour more tax dollars, leaving little or nothing to show for their spending. The little-used phrase, perfecting the problem, is missing from this dialogue. The phrase means quantifying the irritation and democratically determining what is acceptable. For example, how much tax is too much? How much air pollution is too harmful, or how much welfare is fair? These are questions a true business manager would ask. There will always be problems, that is life, but determining what is acceptable must be established before there is any hope of finding a solution. It will never be perfect, but if these points are not quantified at the start, any solution will always have detractors who will complain and insist we throw the baby out with the bathwater if they don't get their way. In a democracy, we will never get the best or the worst of anything. We will always get the perfectly mediocre or the absolute average. This is why we need politicians with business experience. Our system is a democratic republic that forces these elected managers to run through the gauntlet, which is painful and expensive, but does produce someone with above-average skills to tolerate and survive this process. And since they are managers and not dictators, they must manage within the system that we the people have decided upon through the Constitution. This system is not perfect, but it's the best of all the terrible alternatives available. So next time we find something that we don't like, we must determine if we are whining or trying to perfect the question so we can get the best answer from all the terrible alternatives available. This is Keith Kuby wishing you the best in making the world a better place.